Happy Hour Friday. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about income, sex, and morals when it comes to dating. I surveyed some of my friends and family, so I hope you like the discussion that I came up with. Okay, so today, guys, we are going to be talking about, of course, income, morals when it comes to dating. The reason why I came up with this discussion is because there's so many things that come up when you talk about dating now that didn't come into play years ago. And I've been watching a lot of TV shows, and I pulled some things, and I just wanted to discuss it and see if you guys feel the same. If you want to comment below, let me know what you thought of this video. So we are going to get started. Again, what I did was I surveyed about 5 or 6 men. I surveyed about 5 or 6 women to get their opinion. So these are the questions that I came up with that I know that some women and some men, think about when they're going on a date or your first time meeting someone. So let's get started. The one question that I had that came up a lot was, how do you feel about a woman cooking on a first date? Would you ever invite a man to your home on the first date? Or, invite him out? How does that work? I surveyed a couple men and women, and the first thing that the man said is that she's for everybody. If a woman invites you to her home on the first date, that means that she can do that for every man, and that is something that a man would frown upon. I surveyed another man. He said the same thing, that he would get the impression that the woman is trying to have sex if you invite a man to your home on the first day. Most of the women that I surveyed in this, they said that you don't know that man. That man, he's a total stranger. And I'm talking about a man you just met and it's your first date. You guys are going out. Would you invite him back to your home? So most of the women in my first survey said no, because it's a stranger. You don't want to invite a man into your home and he's a total stranger. You don't know where his mind is. You don't know what he could be thinking about. If you don't like him, if it turns out that you guys don't end up dating, then that man knows where you live. So I agree with that too. Also, how does a man view a woman if she has sex with him on the first date? I thought of this question too, and I thought to myself that having sex with a man on the first date, when it comes to morals, it doesn't look really good, because if you have sex with a man on the first date, what is that man thinking of you as far as your standards? But a couple men that I did survey, and they said that it depends, because if you've known the person a long time and you guys never got a chance to talk, this is coming from a man's point of view, that you guys finally went out on a date, and if you both are adults and you're both consenting adults, some men feel like that is up to, the two adults that want to participate in that. Moving on, the next question was, would you date a man in a place that you frequent? And let me explain to you what I mean by that. Would you date a man, like if you go to the gym every day, your workplace, you might go to your hair salon and there might be barbers in there. How do you feel about dating a man somewhere where you always have to see him? Surveying the men, I got a lot of yes from the men. And one of the big questions I find out from men, they were saying, one of the big answers I did get from a lot of the men, they were saying that if you're both adults, then if it doesn't work out, then you just have to be adult about it and move on. A lot of the women sided with, who wants to date a man where you go to every day, and if it doesn't work out, you have to see that man all the time? How would you feel about a man bringing his girlfriend into the gym and you have to work out, you have to see that man with her? Is he doing the same things he did with you? Is he taking his time with her? Is he being more patient? Are they more compatible? How do you feel about the chemistry? Would you have to still see that all the time in the workplace? So you guys let me know what you feel about that. But I do agree with that. I had a situation where I dated someone in the gym. You can always go to the gym and you always know who's watching you, who's looking at you. I frown upon it. I say no, don't do it. Not because it didn't work, but I think that the place that you have, that you go to get your stressed out and to just enjoy yourself. I think you should have that sacred. And I did get one man that said that your personal place, your places that you go to relieve stress or to just enjoy that time by yourself, that should be only for you. I don't think you should date someone in that area. Okay, so moving on to the next question. Twerking online. Would you date a woman that is thirst trapping, twerking online, or a man that's thirst trapping? And when I say this, I mean, would you date a man that's always posting pictures? He could have no shirt on, or just posting pictures of himself looking like he's laying out, in the sun and just trying to attract women? Or would you date a woman that's constantly posting her body, revealing her body parts, twerking, or like half naked? Most of the men that I surveyed, they said no. Some of them said hell no, because they felt like if that woman was my woman, I wouldn't want her revealing herself. And if that's something that she already did, then you can't really try to change a person. That's just something you don't go for. Women, I asked, would you date someone that was a thirst trap, a man that's always, and I mean, when I say a man thirst trap, I mean a man that is constantly on Instagram or constantly posting on Facebook, constantly posting his pictures. Most women said no, because it shows an ego problem. It does show that a man, he's basically out there. He's basically looking, and he's constantly on Facebook. That means that he has no time for you, and his focus is basically on himself. So that's basically, most of the women said no. One of the men did say that if it is your occupation, if it's something that you're advertising, it's your business, and you're advertising like clothes and lingerie, and you were doing that before you met the man, then I did have a couple men that said yes, they would. Okay, so ladies, this is a big one. Next one is, how do you feel about if you are say like you're dating a man and you guys move on in a situation and you become to the point where you're in a relationship and you live with a man. Yes, I'm jumping from dating to living with a man. Do you feel that it is good or something that to pay half of the bills? Do you feel like the woman should pay half of the bills? In this day and age, you have a lot of men who feel like they're not the same as the men used to say, how can I put it? The man that didn't allow women to work, or didn't want you to work, or didn't want you to bear all the burdens. So my question is it fair for the woman to pay half of the bills in the household if you guys are living together? Most of the men said yes. I was surprised to see a lot of men said yes, because if you guys are not married, then you should just pay half of the bills. A lot of the women said yes. I was surprised at that too. I feel that, and I did have some men say that depends on the woman's income, because if a woman is not making as much as the man, then you shouldn't expect her to pay half of the bills. It should be maybe the woman get groceries and the man pays all the bills. The way I was raised, the way I was taught is, I feel as if I feel like a man should pay the bills in the household. If this is his castle, I don't think a woman should not pull her load, but I think like if I have my car, you have your car, I think maybe paying for groceries and, all of my bills, and you pay for the household bills. Anyway, that's another story. Okay, moving on. So the other questions I surveyed, going out on a first date. If a man asks you, say like a man tells you, okay, can you meet me for a date? And he asks you on a date, do you think the man should pay for the bill? Or should you guys pay half and half? Okay, this was a good one, because I did have it in another scenario where a woman said, well, hey, come and meet me Thursday night at so-and-so place, such and such, place or bar or restaurant. And a lot of the men said they think that if a woman asks you to meet her somewhere or meet her out, that a woman should pay for the bill. Only 2 women sided with me saying a woman should not pay the bill. And this is what I'm going to tell you how I feel as though a woman should not pay for the bills. I feel that, again, the way I was raised, I have brothers and I have, friends. And I think that anytime you are around a man, and it's okay to have standards, women, but I think out there, if you're around a man, a real man is not going to ever let you pay when you're out. That's just me. That's how I feel. And a woman that has, her morals and everything, I think that most of the time, us women, we offer, but most of the time, if you're with a good man, that's just my opinion, I think that you should not have to pay. If it's drinks, if it's food, he should have that. It shows that he can take care of you if he needed to, and it also shows that he is, he knows his place as far as with a woman. It makes you feel secure. A lot of the men said, if the woman asks you on a date, then she should pay. I did get a couple men saying that, and it said, one woman said, yes, it shows effort. If the man does pay, it shows effort, and that's about it. Should you take your own car on a first date? This one is very important because a lot of things are happening in this world today, and it does show how a lot of men feel about, how a woman reacts to this situation. The men that I surveyed said taking your own car on a first date to be safe. Because one of the things I said, put yourself in your daughter's place. Like, would you want your daughter to take her own car if she was to go out? This is basically, again, for a man you just met, you guys have been talking on the phone, you decide to go out on a date. Do you think it's safe or do you think it's best that a woman take her own car or that you guys ride together? Again, a lot of the men said to be safe, yes, but they also feel as though they're respectful enough to come pick a woman up at her door. They want to be old-fashioned, take a woman out on a date. Me, I would say no. I would say a lot of men sometimes, especially if you just met a man, you don't know what their intentions are. I mean, you can meet somebody and they can be totally different when you get around them or when you're alone with them. So I would say, as a woman, I would say to always take your own car, especially if it's the first date. It should be nothing wrong with that. And it doesn't mean that you're being rude or you don't like the person. It's just that you want to make sure that you get to know somebody before you take chances with your life and just going to get in the car with someone. And that way, when you're ready to leave, if the date is not going good, you can get in your car, you can make an excuse and go home, and you don't have to wait for a ride. Anyway, on another note, and I got this from, I did see this off of Joe Budden's show. He was talking about the other night on a show, on his show, talking about double texting. Are you a double texter? So women, when I say this, and men out there, what I mean is, he was saying that the reason why he's still single because he's not going to chase after a woman. And when I say double texting, I mean, if you just meet someone and you text them, would you not call them back if they didn't respond? So say you text a woman and 2 hours go by. Is the first thing in your head saying, okay, well, this woman, maybe she is doing something and she will get back to me. So a day goes by, and would you text the woman again? So what Joe Budden was saying is that he's not going to chase a woman, and he feels as though he's not going to text the woman again because that shows no interest. So that's one of the things. I surveyed a couple men, and they said that yes, because if you have the reader on your phone, you can see if a woman read the text message. You'll know if they read it, and then you might be thinking that that person is ignoring you. That goes the same thing for a woman. A lot of the women said, what if they didn't see it? So they will double text. So if the person calls you 2 days later and say, hey, okay, well, you tell them, well, I texted you the other day, and she says, okay, well, why didn't you text me back? Does that mean that you didn't go after the person? Far as does that mean you're chasing after the person? Okay, so we are going to come back with a lot more questions. The next segment is going to be still about dating, but I just want to touch some more on telling a story about your situation. And like I said, if you want to comment below, let me know what you think about these questions and dating, and we can get more into these questions. All right.